Okay, so have you ever noticed how much we use the word behavior in ABA? Like it's everywhere, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's like the core, the heart of everything we do.
But do we really stop and think about what it actually means? Like a deep dive into the definition?
Totally. And that's what we're doing today, taking a deep dive into behavior, what it is and what it isn't, T. And you know what? We'll use real workplace examples to make it crystal clear.
Oh, I like that. Because honestly, sometimes we try to fix things that aren't even behaviors in the first place.
You hit the nail on the head, and that's a slippery slope, especially for us ABA folks.
So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's define behavior. What's the ABA-approved version?
Okay, so in ABA behavior is any action we can observe and measure. Simple as that.
So if we can see it or hear it or even like measure it with some fancy instrument?
You got it. If you can film it, it's behavior.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like daydreaming about winning the lottery, that's not behavior.
Nope, can't observe that.
But buying a ticket that eyes a behavior?
Bingo! You're getting it, and because it's observable, we can count how many times it happens, track those changes, see the impact.
Right, which is like the whole point of ABA, right?
Yeah.
Seeing that real-world impact.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does this all tie into performance, especially in the workplace? They feel connected somehow.
They are big time. Think of performance as a chain reaction.
Ooh, I love a good analogy. Lay it on me.
Okay, picture this. You've got the situation, the behaviors people are using, the tasks they're doing, and the end results. Put it all together, what do you get?
Sounds like a recipe for success.
It is. It's a specific accomplishment.
Okay, so let me try this out. So like a chef in a busy kitchen, right? The situation is dinner rush. The behaviors are chopping veggies like a ninja. The task is prepping ingredients, and the result is a delicious meal ready to go.
Yes, perfect example. Now here's where it gets crucial for us ABA folks before we even think about changing a behavior.
We got to know what success looks like.
Yes, we have to figure out which accomplishments are the most valuable for our clients. You know, are we focusing on the right things, the stuff that will actually make a difference?
Right, because what's the point of changing something if it doesn't actually matter in the long run?
Exactly. You get it.
Okay, so we need to know what we're aiming for before we even start aiming. But here's where I trip up sometimes.
Tell me about it.
We use all these words that sound like behaviors, but they're not.
Ooh, yeah, that's where things get tricky. It's a trap.
Like telling someone to be more professional or show some teamwork sounds good in theory, but what does that even look like in practice?
You're so right. Those are generalities, and they're the first culprit on our list.
It's like that classic military story, the officer yells, "Get on the truck," but doesn't say which truck. So everyone's just standing around looking confused.
Exactly. Vague instructions, vague results.
And then their attitudes, like safety conscious or taking initiative. Sounds impressive. But again, what do those actually look like in terms of actions?
Good point. And that's the thing. Everyone might have a different idea of what those attitudes mean in practice. What I consider taking initiative might be totally different from what you consider taking initiative.
Totally. It's so subjective.
Right. So we've got generalities and attitudes. What else tries to sneak in disguised as behavior?
Let me think. Oh, what about states?
Ah, yes. States. A classic imposter. A state is the result of a behavior, not the behavior itself.
Okay, I need an example. I'm a little lost.
Sure. Think about wearing safety glasses. That's a state. It's the outcome of the behavior of putting them on.
Oh, I see.
Remember that story about the warehouse manager who was trying to improve safety?
Vaguely rings a bell.
Well, he started praising employees for wearing their safety glasses, but it wasn't really working.
Why not? It seems like a good idea.
Because he was reinforcing the wrong thing. He was reinforcing the state of wearing the glasses, not the behavior of putting them on as soon as they entered the warehouse.
So it's about reinforcing the action, not just the end result.
Exactly. He shifted his focus to that, and safety incidents went way down.
That's so interesting. It's all about pinpointing the exact action that leads to the outcome we want.
You got it. So we've got generalities, attitudes, states. What's our final sneaky imposter?
Let's see. Generalities, attitudes, states.
Oh, no.
Values.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Values, things like honesty, integrity, teamwork, important. Absolutely. Behaviors, not so much.
Okay, I can see how that gets confusing.
Yeah, we can't just tell someone, be honest, and expect it to magically happen, right?
Right, it's not like flipping a switch.
Exactly. We have to break down that value into observable actions, things we can teach and reinforce. What does honesty look like in different situations? What specific skills are needed?
So instead of saying be a team player, we might teach someone how to share credit or how to offer help to their colleagues.
Exactly. Give them the tools to actually put those values into action.
Okay, so we've unmasked those sneaky imposters. But why is this all so important? Why does it even matter if we make this distinction between behavior and these other things?
Because, my friend, focusing on things that aren't truly behaviors is like setting ourselves up for frustration and failure. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation of sand.
Ooh, that's a construction analogy I can get behind.
It's all about having a solid foundation. And behavior, that's our bedrock. It's what we can actually see, measure, and influence. And performance, well, that's like the whole structure built on top of that foundation.
So behavior is the key ingredient, and performance is the delicious cake we bake with it.
I like the way you think.
This is all starting to click. Now that we've laid the foundation and we know what behavior is, let's look at what it isn't and how to make sure we're targeting the right things for real change.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it. It's
Yeah.
funny, because in the workplace, especially for managers, there's this constant push to influence what's going on inside people's heads.
Feel like we're trying to be mind readers or something.
Exactly. But we as ABA professionals, we know that's not really our forte.
Yeah, you can't actually see what someone's thinking or feeling, right?
Nope. All we have are their actions, their words. But those inner workings, those are a mystery.
So are you saying we should just ignore thoughts and feelings altogether?
Not at all. I mean, they're definitely part of the human experience, right?
Right.
But when we're talking about improving performance, focusing on them directly, it's tricky. It's like trying to herd cats. Good luck with that.
Okay, that's a visual I won't forget anytime soon.
Yeah.
So if we're not focusing on thoughts and feelings, what should we be focusing on?
Behavior, remember, is what we can actually see, measure, and influence. And here's the cool part. When we change behavior, those thoughts and feelings often start to shift too.
Oh, so it's like a domino effect.
Exactly.
So instead of saying, don't be so negative, you'd focus on helping them develop specific behaviors that lead to more positive outcomes?
You got it. Give them the tools to change their actions, and that can lead to a change in their perspective, their mood even.
It's like that saying, fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you start acting in a more positive way, you might actually start to feel more positive.
And there's research to back that up, right?
Oh, tons of it. Our actions, they can really shape our thoughts and feelings more than we realize.
Okay, that's a serious light bulb moment for me. So applying this to the workplace, are you saying managers should be less concerned with what their employees are thinking and more concerned with what they're actually doing?
To a certain extent, yes. I mean, obviously, creating a positive work environment is important.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, a manager's job is to make sure those employees are performing well.
And performing well means doing specific, observable things.
Exactly. So instead of saying, be more proactive, a manager could say, I need you to send me that weekly report by Friday at noon.
Clear, specific, and observable. The employee knows exactly what's expected.
Bingo. And if they meet that expectation consistently, they'll probably feel a sense of accomplishment.
Which could lead to more motivation and a more positive attitude.
It's a win-win. And it all starts with that focus on behavior.
I'm starting to see how powerful this is, not just for managers, but for how I work with clients too.
Oh, absolutely. It can be transformative by really understanding the difference between behavior and those other things we talked about, generalities, attitudes, states, values.
We become so much more effective.
Exactly. We're giving our clients the tools they need to actually reach their goals.
Okay, so we've established focusing on behavior is key. But how do we actually pinpoint which behaviors we need to zero in on? It feels like a puzzle sometimes.
It is a puzzle, but it's one we can solve. And that's where our skills as ABA professionals come in. We're like behavioral detectives.
Oh, I love that, behavioral detectives. I'm putting that on my business cards.
I might steal that. Okay, so our first clue, figuring out the desired outcome. What are we trying to achieve? What's that specific accomplishment we're aiming for?
So if a client wants to be more safety conscious, we need to figure out what that actually looks like in terms of concrete action.
Exactly. Maybe it's wearing those safety glasses, consistently participating in safety trainings, or reporting potential hazards right away. Those are specific, measurable things we can work with.
Okay, so we've got our case file. The desired outcome is clearly stated. What's our next move as behavioral detectives?
We break it down. We analyze the task, figure out the individual steps involved, and then identify the exact behaviors needed for each step.
So instead of saying be more productive, we'd break down a task into smaller chunks and figure out the behaviors that make each chunk more efficient.
Precisely. So if the task is clean the kitchen, we might break it down into wash the dishes, wipe the counters, and sweep the floor. And then we figure out the most efficient way to do each of those things.
Maybe it's prioritizing tasks,
Yeah.
minimizing distractions, using a timer, or even practicing a specific cleaning technique.
Exactly. By pinpointing those smaller observable behaviors, we create a step-by-step roadmap to success.
This reminds me of task analysis. It's such a core part of ABA. We're taking something big and potentially overwhelming and breaking it down into manageable pieces.
Exactly. And once we have those steps, we can use all our ABA tools and strategies to help our clients master those behaviors.
That's like we're giving them the building blocks to create real change.
That's a great way to put it. And as ABA professionals, we're the master builders guiding them every step of the way.
This is making me so excited about the possibilities. It feels like we're not just changing behaviors, we're empowering people.
That's exactly what we're doing. By focusing on behavior, we're giving people the power to achieve their goals, build confidence, and live more fulfilling lives.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. This whole deep dive has been fantastic.
Huh.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of behavior and how it affects performance.
Me too. It's like you've given me a new lens to see the world through.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I hope our listeners are feeling the same. Remember, you don't have to be an ABA expert to apply these principles.
Right. Anyone can benefit from understanding the power of behavior.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with today?
If you want to change outcomes, focus on actions. Identify the specific behaviors that lead to success. Break them down into doable steps, and then use all those awesome ABA techniques we have to support those behaviors.
Focus on actions, not abstractions. It's so simple, but so profound.
You got it.
And a great reminder for all of us, both professionally and personally. This has been an incredible deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us.
The pleasure was all mine.
We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to apply these concepts in your own world.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences with us on social media. We love hearing from our listeners.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
We'll catch you next time on ABA Chapter Chat.